to day 23 of our January challenge and the third day on this new piece. This is the JaNEWary Crag hornpipe, and I will play through our section for today first and then we'll talk about it. And there will be a damp there in the left hand below that last note. Okay, so let's have a look at what we're doing here. The right hand, F, E, D, 3 in a row. And then before you play the D, get the 2 and the 1 back on as we head back up. And then get your third back on the D so that you can reach up with your thumb onto the A. And then the third goes back on the D again. Then our thumb moves to the F. Then our finger 2 can go on the D. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so most of those Ds are going to be happening with finger 3, 3, 3, 3, and then just at the end we swap to finger 2. Okay, carrying on. The next two notes, the first two notes of our second bar, are another FD. You've just played FD at the end of the first bar for today, and then we're back on. Okay, and then we're going to place E and C and B and G. So it's 2 notes with a gap in between, then 3 right next door, then another note with a gap in between. So gap there, reaching down to 4. Okay, let's just look at that little bit again then. So from the beginning of bar, let me see, the beginning of that second full bar for today, F to D. Okay, so F, D, moving your thumb to the E and get all 4 on, but with these gaps. Okay, let's try that from the beginning of today. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, it's all quavers today's section in this top hand. There's something happening in every single quaver beat or every 8th note beat. So F, E, D, going back up, third finger keeps going back to that D, then to a finger 2 on the D, last 2 notes again, moving to our new space. Okay, let's just look at putting a bit of the left hand with that before we add too much more. Left hand then opens up with one of those shapes, the octave with the 5th in the middle. Okay, 4, 2, 1. And then it's F, D. Okay, up to you whether you just play that finger 2 and 2, because they're long notes, you can do that, or whether you want to place 1 and 2. I think when I'm in the throw of playing it, I think I just do finger 2. And then straight back to the same thing we just opened with, the octave with that 5th in the middle, D, A, D. And then we're going to go for a G and a B. And again, do you place the 2 and the 1, or do you go 2 and 2? This time I think I do place 2 and 1. Personally, you do what's comfortable for you, being mindful of what's coming next and how your hand needs to move. Okay, let's try that with the top hand. So the top hand starts with our first 2 quaver upbeat notes, the F and the E, and then as we land on finger 3 on the D, that's when our left hand joins in with this bass D down here. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So top hand played a couple of extra notes there of what we move on to. So we've just done the E, C, B, G that we've been working on. We go back on to D, B, just with 1 and 2. And then we do C, A, which is just 1 note lower than that pattern. So D, B, C, A, reaching up for the E. And then it's the same pattern of 4 notes where we have the E to the C with the gap in the middle, B to the G with the gap in the middle. Back to the D, B. Okay, I'll stop there for the second. Okay, so let's go back to the last two quavers leading into the third full bar for today. D, B in the right hand, D, B, C, A, E, C, B, G, D, B. Okay, so this is the last two quavers of the second full bar leading into the third full bar for today. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, let's put the left hand underneath that. So the left hand joining in then in that third bar is C octave, but with a finger 2 on the A. It's a different gap. It's not the pattern that we're very used to where it would be a G because it's the 5th note up. This one's a 6th up or a 3rd down from that top note, and it goes C, A, C. So I'm doing that 4, 2, 1 because the C to the A is a big stretch. 4, 2, 1. And then I'm moving to 3, 2, 1, and that's D, G, B. Okay, now that move, the top two notes were A and C. They've moved down one to the G and the B. The bottom note was the red C. It's moved up one to the D. So C, A, C, D, G, B. Okay, if we put that then with the top hand, I'm just going to join that left hand in as we land on bar 3, on that third bar of today. So I'll do the upbeat 2 quavers in the top hand. This is the end of bar 2 leading into bar 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, if you play that second left hand pattern, the D, G, B, if that ends up with a finger 4 at the bottom as well, that's okay. 4 or 3 there is fine. 3 is sort of slightly more technically correct, if correct is the right word for that, but 4 may feel more natural because you've just been playing it in the previous chord, so it may just feel more natural to bring finger 4 in. Let's put that together from the beginning of today into there before we go into that last final bar for today. So right at the beginning of this third line of today, F, E, D in the top hand, a D octave with the A in the bass clef. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, once you get used to it, it flows very nicely under the fingers. It's just getting used to it. Going into this final bar then, B, A and G in the top hand, the B as a grace note. I'm going to do the left hand at the same time. Left hand, finger 2 on the C, finger 3 on the B. And if you play the grace note with the top hand, and then as you land on finger 2, join in with finger 2 in the left hand as well. And then it's exactly the same pattern of notes and exactly the same fingering in both hands. Okay, so 1 is the grace note, and then before you play 3, get 2 and 1 back on, and then put 2 back on, so you don't come off until after that last note. Left hand, C, B, C, D, C. So C, then before you play the 3, get 2 and 1 back on. Before you play the 1, get finger 2 back on the red. Okay, putting that together in the top hand, just that final bar, 3 and 4 and. And remember that the grace note comes before that beat. 3 and 4 and. Okay, so to finish, let's put all of today's section together. This is one to really practice over and over again and do quite a bit of hands apart just to get the flow of the right hand, but don't ever do too much hands apart that it then feels an extra chore getting the left hand involved. Okay, here we go. From the beginning then of today's learning. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And what I that you want to be aware of which of the notes that are landing on the key beats, the first beat of the bar, the third beat of the bar, and which notes really sort of bring out the melody so it doesn't become too stodgy. So that's just me playing the notes that fall in each crotchet place, in each beat. But just to be aware, those are the key ones. So that you're aware of bringing out the tune and the melody there. That's lovely, well done.